Hello and welcome back to the Quarantine Cricket Championship. I'm Brian Jackson, and this is day 3 of the second Ashes Test between England and Australia. England are batting at the moment, 2 for 119 now as Root gets away immediately off the bowling of Mitchell Starc. It's anyone's game. You might favour a draw given that it's good batting conditions, and Australia posted a pretty sizable first innings total, over 400. And England have also looked pretty solid with the bat as well. They've played very aggressively, and for that reason, I'm actually going with a bit of a change in approach as the captain of Australia. And that we're going to be pitching it up to Joe Root. You can see that his preference is to play it on the back foot. And we're going to start out pretty aggressively to him as well. So there will be fours, as we've just seen, but to be honest, it's not as if our current plans were working very well to him so far this series, so can't hurt to try something new at least. And that man Josh Hazlewood took both English scalps late on day 2. Both the openers dismissed from the bowling of Hoff. But since then, Bairstow and Root have put together quite an impressive partnership. Must be nearing 100 or thereabouts. It's Mitchell Starc to Joe Root, and he's played that impeccably through the leg side. He's past 50 this morning. The English skipper. And Mitchell Starc has been one of the Australian bowlers who's just been very expensive this innings. Root, Bairstow and the openers have had their way with him. So hopefully this change of approach on day 3 will turn things around. I actually don't like Hazlewood bowling with such an aggressive field to the settled batsman in Root, who's scoring at a rapid clip. Starc, however, he thrives on that sort of setting. Interestingly enough, Bairstow hasn't really gotten away this morning. Batted pretty aggressively last night, but he seems to be the more watchful one, which you wouldn't necessarily expect, as Hazlewood completes a maiden. It's 2 for 128. And already this has been a better start from the Australian bowlers than what we were seeing last night for the most part. Starc looks a lot more accurate. And I think this angle going around the wicket to the right-hander seems to suit him pretty well. So just one from the over, 2 for 129. It'll be Hazlewood continuing to Root, who plays that to mid-off for no run. And he gets down the other end. Oh, and Bairstow's away. Just moves across. And once again, Hazlewood just a bit too full there to Bairstow. He's been put away twice now, and it'll be a third time, and it's a no ball. So, extreme let-off here for the English batsman, thanks to Josh Hazlewood, and some pretty average fast bowling, it must be said. Can he recover? Oh, and that's seems like it's caught the pad there of Bairstow, and just gone down to fine leg for 1. So Starc now into his 10th over. A lot of you have been asking why I can't commentate with someone like Bumble or Mozo, why we have to do it separately. And unfortunately, as I'm recording this on a laptop, the screen is actually too small to have two people watching it without breaking the social distancing protocols. So, for now at least, it's just one person at a time on commentary. Oh, and Bairstow gets that away through third man. Will it reach the ropes? Not quite. Looks like Steve Smith there, throwing it back in. Oh, and that's Bairstow's half century. Just the 72 balls. And England very much starting day 3 where they finished on day 2. Joe Root just looking world class this series so far. How am I going to get him out? Looked a bit too full for the pull shot, but ends up getting a single. So that's the over, 2 for 148. And we're going to see some of Pat Cummins into the attack to Johnny Bairstow. Cummins, like Stark, very expensive last night. Oh, and he's beaten the bat of Joe Root. Much better start here from Cummins today. But Root able to get down the other end, bringing up the 150 for England. Just the loss of 2 wickets. And even when the boundaries aren't flowing, they're picking up the singles, keeping the scoreboard ticking over, just like that. Oh, and that's a full toss, probably deserved to be put away to the ropes in the end. Just a single. And we're going to give Hazlewood one more here. Oh, and he beats the bat of Bairstow. So a couple close calls. But England still with the overnight batsman at the crease. And the run still flowing. As Root gets another single, it's 2 for 155. Here's Cummins. Root picks the gap pretty well. Bairstow gets that one away to square leg for 1. Deep square leg, really. Well past the umpire there. I think that's Michael Jenkins at square leg this over. Aleem Dar behind the stumps. They've done a pretty good job this series, it must be said, the umpires. No complaints from me. DRS, of course, not in effect. As we're going to now see the first of Nathan Lyon today. Pitch isn't really doing much for the spinners or the quicks, so it'll be up to Lyon to make something happen of his own accord as Bairstow catches the inside edge and just flies down to fine leg. They'll pick up 2. Nathan Lyon did take a lot of first innings wickets at Lords. Similarly, the pitch wasn't that great for spinners, so he'll be pretty confident, you'd say. Although he did have a very disappointing second innings performance where he didn't contribute really at all to Australia's effort to win that game late on day 5. Pretty good start though, just the 2 from it, off the edge, 2 for 159. And Cummins, he needs to start showing his talent this series. He's been the worst of Australia's bowlers, all things up. And he's been uncharacteristically expensive in this second test up to this point. Only 2 from that over, however, so England moved to 2 for 161, Lyon bowling to Bairstow on this opening session of day 3. A couple men in close to the bat on the leg side, as we've come to expect. Oh, and Bairstow looking to be aggressive there. Only gets 1. Oh, just past the edge of Bairstow. Lyon is troubling him. That much is certain. Oh, and there's a shout for LBW. Clearly impact outside off. Personally, I don't think he played a shot there. So, no reviews, of course. And it was missing anyway. As Root, down the ground, 4 runs. World class. Oh, and it doesn't beat the fielder. Well stopped out there in the deep by the man at fine leg. And it's interesting, they are certainly looking to attack the Australian fast bowlers, especially Cummins. Seems to be pretty smart. That's typically how this Australian attack has been undone in real life. If you think about the series against India 2018-19 and the Headingley Test, of course, in these 2019 Ashes. If you can get on top of the Australian bowlers, they can come up short for answers. But Nathan Lyon has probably been the most impressive of the bowlers today so far. Hasn't bowled much to Root, but he's just maintaining a steady line and length. Oh, and that just beats the bat. Not his best delivery, Nathan Lyon, but almost catches the edge. And gee, the Australians would love to see the back of Joe Root, I tell you that much. So, at this point in the game, we're going to see some more of Mitchell Starc. I was impressed with how he was looking, despite being wicketless so far, but he starts out with a no ball. It's just that angle going into the right-hander that always looks threatening. You just suspect an LBW or a bowl is not far away. If I'm remembering correctly, I think he bowled Joe Root in that very fashion in the first test. But Root seems to have learned his lesson as he brings up yet another boundary. He must be closing in on a century. Yeah, he's 74, Bairstow 62. But Nathan Lyon, He's come close on several occasions this morning. Can he be the man to break this partnership? As Bairstow picks out the man at mid-on, slightly unlucky there, you'd say, and he's had enough. He absolutely mooses that one through the onside for 4 runs. Oh, and has he gone too aggressively? No, it just beats the bat. Would you believe it? Oh, I tell you, it's all happening out here. Nathan Lyon, what more does he have to do? Preferably not bowl wides like that. That's not going to help his cause. And they get through for a single, so interesting over there. 6 from it. And it's now Mitchell Starc to Johnny Bairstow. They've been good with their running between the wickets, the English. It's helped maintain that very high run rate for a test match. Three singles in this over already. Little too straight there. Pretty easy for Root to flick that one into the onside. That's better. Good line. 2 for 186. Nathan Lyon to continue. Too short and put away. Joe Root likes it playing on the back foot. Good against the spinners. And very happy to get down the other end. Keep the scoreboard ticking along. It's been all England today so far. Starc will continue to Root. Who looks pretty much unstoppable against these quick bowlers, it must be said. Cummins came close. And Starc is frustrating the scoring at least. So 2 for 191. It remains. No reason to take off Nathan Lyon. He's bowling the best of anyone out there. That's too short, you'd have to say. Bairstow plays it comfortably, but can't find the gap. And he'll probably be happy to get down the other end and let his skipper do the hard work against Lyon. That's well bowled. Root's still looking to be aggressive. Not much risk with that shot. Oh, and Bairstow now. Oh, well fielded in the deep. Who was that? Hats off to him. Just kidding. No one's wearing hats. And we're going to see Josh Hazlewood now into the attack. What can he bring to the table? There really shouldn't be a single there, but there always is in cricket, Captain. Oh, and that has to be out. He's struck on the pads. Yes, he is. He's gone. What a delivery from Josh Hazlewood, who picks up his third now, and it's that big wicket of Joe Root, 82, strike rate of 70, and his innings thankfully comes to an end with just under half an hour to play in this first session. But with that said, here's the danger man, Ben Stokes, and I don't see any reason not to pitch it up to him. Seemed to do the trick on Joe Root, and I guess we bowl fairly straight to him for now. That could change depending on if he gets away, but that is a crucial partnership to break. Wow, Stokes wasting no time. No respect for Hazlewood. So an eventful over, 3 for 199. Lyon probably going around is the play. To Stokes, that is. Now, will Bairstow continue to attack Lyon? That's when he's looked the most comfortable. Yes, just like that. That's how he should be playing him. As England bring up the 200 for the loss of 3. So, I think England would be alright with where they're at in this game, batting second. Still a lot in this wicket for the batsman. So they'll be looking to really push on. They've got a really deep batting order and a lot of firepower. Just one from it. 3 for 200. As Hazlewood continues his work to Bairstow, he's taken all 3 wickets, even though he's been a bit inconsistent, you'd have to say. But the fact is that he's knocked over the England top order on his own. Good delivery there. Stokes can't beat the field. And just one from the over. As Lyon continues. He's been good to Bairstow all day. Can he take that extra step and pick up the wicket? Not right now, at least. Oh, and Stokes sweeps and sweeps well. I'll come back for 2 here. So Stokes not afraid to take on the spin of Nathan Lyon early in his innings. Pretty aggressive field, it must be said. So Stokes will be looking to play like that. Take the boundaries. Seven from it. It's 3 for 208. Hazlewood to continue to Bairstow. Oh, and he struck on the pads. Big appeal. Nothing doing. Aleem Dar knows his stuff. Not going to question him on that one. And Bairstow responds straight away with a massive on drive. If you can call it that. I'm not sure what you call that shot. Just brutality. Three for 212. And considering there's not many blokes here deep on the leg side, I'm going to try and tossing it up outside off to Ben Stokes. He's a leg side player, primarily, at least according to Cricket Captain. and I'm doubting that immediately. He finds the gap with ease and picks up 4 runs. Oh, and a no ball. How do you do that if you're a spinner? 3 runs. Also, let me know in the comments if I should pick Murali for Sri Lanka in this Test Championship. Line looking much better to Bairstow than Stokes, it must be said. 3 for 218. Oh, and that's an interesting shot from Bairstow, and the misfield at mid-off allows him to get 4 for it. It's just no justice in cricket. Bairstow adds 4 more to his total. He must be closing in on a ton. He's batted extremely well. Thankfully, the man deep on the offside doesn't misfield. Yeah, Bairstow's on 88 now, so with 1 more over in the session, we're going to go over the wicket to Stokes. Not that it will matter necessarily with Bairstow on strike, but yeah, let's see if anything's doing. Last over the session. No run. Good delivery. No run. Good areas, Lino. Batsman is scared, not going through for a single. Tosses it up. Still no run. And the last ball of the first session. Oh, can you believe it? No! So at lunch on day 3, England are 3 for 232. Bairstow 92 not out. Joe Root more than a helping hand there, 82. Those two have set England up nicely. And it's only been Hazlewood who's been taking wickets. He's bowled a lot of overs, it must be said. But Stark and Cummins, pretty disappointing, all things considered. So, we head into the second session now, with Australia leading by 206. And we're going to give Pat Cummins the benefit of the doubt here. Probably bowling on a good length. Actually, maybe keep pitching it up. And with Bairstow, we're actually going to push the field back, considering the way he's playing. Try and bait him into something foolish. Here we go, second session. And yeah, it starts just as the first session ended, with a boundary for England. Stokes wasting no time. Oh, and again, finding the gap with ease. I don't think this angle was a good idea. That's the third boundary. Cummins bowling like an amateur. And a fourth. So, 4 boundaries and 5 balls to start this second session. And yeah, that's pretty embarrassing from an Australian perspective, must be said. From the other end, we're going to see Mitchell Stark. Field goes back for Stokes. I guess this is the only real option, considering how strong he is through that onside. Oh, and Bairstow. Gee, they are playing with reckless abandon, the English. And Stark having none of it. bangs that one in short, followed up by one straight at the pads. Can't get it away, but still that aggressive intent from Bairstow. No nervous 90s for him as he faces a maiden. So at this point, I've got to go over the wicket. I've got to try to bowl outside off, probably not full either, and set the field back. Oh, and how is... I told him to bowl outside off, and the first one goes through for 4 byes down the leg side. Guys, is it acceptable to drop Pat Cummins? He's so bad. With those byes, the 250 came up for England. Still only 3 wickets lost. So it'll be Mitchell Starc to continue to Stokes. Plays that one to mid-off for a single. Kind of a wide mid-off with this packed offside field. And Bairstow moves to 93. It'll be a good story for him if he can make a ton. I will, of course, be doing everything in my power to prevent that from happening. Full toss, not put away. Stokes seems to only go bish bash bosh on the good deliveries. And it looks like this change of plan to him is working. At least in drawing up the runs. Bairstow tries to play that one through third man, can't quite do it. Cummins must be extremely low in confidence now. After the series he's had. James Pattinson will probably get a crack at some point this series. It's more a matter of, who comes out for which tests. So if Cummins doesn't improve his form, I would consider giving him a rest for the third test, seeing how Pattinson does, and then presumably bringing Cummins back into the fold right after that. He's too good to leave on the sidelines. So Bairstow just a little slower now into the 90s. This defensive field probably frustrating him, you'd assume. And Starc keeping things tight to Ben Stokes, to his credit. Just the 2 from that over. It's 3 for 258. In case you're wondering why Cummins is still bowling, it's because I have to use him. I've got to get through these overs, and it's not going to get any better by standing in the field. Tidier over, at least 3 for 259. And we're going to give Hazlewood one more spell before resting him before the second new ball. So he can have 3 or 4 overs here. He's been the danger man with ball. What can he conjure up? A good line and length. Bairstow, he wants that century, and he wants it quickly. How long is this going to last? He's on 95. And I'll give Cummins one more over. What have you got, Paddy? Oh, he's hit on the pads. Is that out? No. Pitching outside leg. Yep. What a shame. And Stokes adding insult to injury. Plays that comfortably through the onside 4-4. And through third man now. Just the single. Owen Bairstow edging ever closer to that ton. He's 96 not out. As that ends another over, another expensive one from Pat Cummins. It's 3 for 266. Bairstow, one boundary away. Oh, and he goes for it. Will it beat the fielder? No. 97. Every time the bowlers get a little straight to Stokes, there's runs to be had. Will Bairstow bring up his century this over? They'll have to wait. It's 3 for 268. Nathan Lyon back into the attack. Might look at going over the wicket to Stokes. And with Bairstow, I see no reason not to stick with what was working. Almost got him out several times in the first session, Nathan Lyon. What can he do after lunch? He seems to be frustrating Ben Stokes just a little. Now. Oh. Gee, probably could have played that through the offside there, Bairstow. It was pretty wide. That one seemed to spin a fair bit. Good sign for Lyon. Oh, and he can't get him away. So Bairstow remaining on 97. England 3 for 269. As Hazlewood gets another over. Stokes can't beat the bowler. So the runs just slowing up in recent overs. Finally, good sign for the Australian bowlers. It's still 3 for 269. Here we go. Lyon to Bairstow. 97 not out. Defends. Gets through for a single. Full toss, probably deserved to be put away. 98 now for Johnny Bairstow. And he's on strike once again. Oh, and did that come off the edge? Certainly looked like it. 99. Oh, and Stokes almost beats the fielder. So here we go. Lyon to Bairstow. He's on 99. One ball in the over. And he shouldn't have blocked that one. That was 4 from the moment it left bowler's hand. Alright. Hazlewood to Stokes. What's doing? Well, Bairstow's getting there pretty quickly. He wants that ton. Can't get it. No run. Oh, and there's probably a single there. Gee. He's been in the 90s for an eternity, Bairstow, and just like that, he finally gets through, beats the fieldsman, and brings up what you'd have to say is a well-deserved 100. Johnny Bairstow has batted very well. That is his 7th Test match 100 after a couple of failures in the first Test. So that's probably saved his spot, all things considered. So he should be very happy. Now it's up to Nathan Lyon to get something going. It's a good delivery. He's bowled well without reward, Lyon. But it's all about taking wickets at this point in Test match cricket, and so far he's failed to do it. Just one from that over, 3 for 279, and we're going to mix things up a bit and see Steve Smith coming into the attack. If I just look at, I suppose I can't see him just yet, I think he took a wicket on day 5 of the first Test, so hopefully he's in some good bowling form. Pretty good start there. No run. Stokes easily gets through there. Bairstow looking to attack. Can't get it away. Well bowled. It's looking pretty handy, Steve Smith, must be said. And just one from the over. 3 for 280. Lyon to Stokes. Oh, and he plays that nicely, and that'll be his half century. Ben Stokes, another rapid fire 50 for him. He's looking like he could be a decisive factor in this series with bat and ball. He brings something that no Australian batsman does in terms of his all-round abilities. England have 3 all-rounders in their side with Stokes, Curran and Moeen. Seven from that over, another expensive one. It's 3 for 287 as Steve Smith continues. His bowling so far looks better than some of the regular bowlers. Certainly Pat Cummins this match. It's been more accurate than Nathan Lyon as well. And just the one from the over. 3 for 288. Smith keeping things tidy at one end. And unfortunately, it just hasn't been happening this spell for Nathan Lyon. He hasn't been as accurate, hasn't looked like taking a wicket. And it might be that Australia will have to wait until the new ball to get some momentum back, change the way the match is going. Right now, England look like they'll take a first innings lead, actually. Sweeps and sweeps well, beats the fielder, 4 runs. Oh, and he backs away, ends up smashing it through the offside for 4. Good shot. And the 300 up for England as well. Still only 3 wickets lost. So they fought back well after Australia made pretty large first innings total. And the runs are just flowing now. 4 more for Stokes. And that should be 4 as well. So 17 from that over. 3 for 309. And in terms of the bowling tactics, I don't think there's much I can do with this old ball, it must be said, unless these spinners are able to get something going, which doesn't look likely. Bairstow just seems to tap that through. Third man for 4. Elegant shot, very effective. And once again, 8 from the over. And with that, I'm going to toss the ball to Marnus Labuschagne. What's he got up his sleeve? A horrendous full toss first up. Labuschagne bowled pretty poorly when he was brought on in the first test, but I think I only gave him 1 over. So let's see what he's made of. Different ground, different test. Pretty much the same match situation as the first test, it must be said. Good ball. Challenging that front pad. Bit of a wild one there. Call a wide. Bit harsh, I would say, but I guess you can't complain too much when you're bowling it there. And Labuschagne seems to bring out a wrong 'un. Dispatched easily by Stokes, who's approaching a century himself. Pretty remarkably. So, Nathan Lyon, at this stage, my options are pretty limited. If you look at that bowling card, new ball coming up. So what I'm actually going to do is throw the ball to Matthew Wade. Well, some right arm meds. Nothing to lose by being slightly experimental with this old ball. Matthew Wade, I believe, has taken at least 1 test wicket before. He's an angry bowler. And he started out alright, it must be said. Just singles. Good line and length. Matty Wade. Just 3 from it. Labuschagne to Bairstow. Yep, that's well played. Oh, and Stokes gets it away. Should go all the way 4-4. He's playing a very aggressive innings, Ben Stokes, but a very effective one. Dining out on subpar spin bowling. And the score ticks along to 3-4-3-3-3. You'd be very happy to see that as an English fan. It doesn't stay that way for long as Bairstow continuing the assault. And Stokes finds the boundary once again. Just so much force. No chance of stopping that. 3 for 338. Wade to Bairstow. And the Australians just in a bit of a lifeless position at the moment. Nothing going their way. Sort of letting time tick along until the second new ball is available. Matthew Wade looking pretty tidy, must be said. Good on him. No ball. Will the extra delivery do the trick? No. 3 for 341. 2 overs until the new ball. I mean, Labuschagne's not really offering much, but I suppose Head can bowl a bit. We just look at the series so far. Yeah, it was Smith who took that wicket in the first test. Gee, Cummins. I mean, all of them aren't that good. Here we go. One more over for Labuschagne. Will this be the trick? It's almost like a deep leg gully they've got in there. Don't know what that's for. I don't know. I guess to prevent the sweep from going for 4, but you'd think you'd have him a bit deeper than that. Tidy stuff from Labuschagne. One more delivery in the over. And deservedly put away. So, Labuschagne not doing anything to help his standing within this side. He's been poor with the bat all series and hasn't impressed with the ball whatsoever. Oh, and almost dispatched there by Stokes, who's nearing a century. Oh, and just well played by Bairstow. Just finds the gap. 350 up for England. Still only 3 down. The Australians will need to mount a pretty sensational comeback if they're going to pull something out of the hat. The new ball, will this be the start? It's going to be Mitchell Starc. And I don't see any reason not to bring the field slightly more aggressive. It's not as if the defensive field has slowed the flow of runs or induced the false stroke. But Bairstow looking immovable at the crease. Oh, and again, so easy for him. He's well and truly on his way to a mammoth score the way he's playing now. And to think his selection status was in danger heading into this match. 3 for 364. It will not be Matthew Wade with the new ball. It will be Josh Hazlewood. The only wicket taker so far. Which has forced me to turn to him a little more than I would have liked, I suppose. That's Raw Bolt. And a good start from Hazlewood, just the one from it. As Stark bowls to Stokes, who's into the 90s. Will he be England's second centurion of the match? Just beats the bat. First chance we've seen in a long time. So some good signs for the Australians with the new ball right before tea. And gee, how good would it be to dismiss Stokes right before the break, before he can get his ton. Maiden over. And the last over before tea? No, that's the break. So, yeah, look, England have absolutely dominated today. My plans haven't been effective. I've got to take responsibility for that. And it's been Bairstow and Stokes who have just dominated. 170 partnership, 158 between Bairstow and Root. And I've got no answers at the moment. England have added nearly 250 runs today already for the loss of one wicket. So all I can do is keep toiling away. Pitch isn't getting any better for the bowlers. And hope that England's lead isn't too much. And would you believe it, the second session in a row where the first ball has sailed to the boundary. England are just having fun out there. As Bairstow moves to 149. Stokes inching closer towards his century as well. Oh, it really wasn't there to be hit through square leg, but he makes his own shots, Ben Stokes. Gee, 10 from the first over after tea. We are in all sorts of strife. As Stokes nears a ton, he's on 96 now, I believe. And Bairstow just one run away from his 150. Oh, and it seems to have flown off the edge there, but it's still 4 and it's still 150 for Johnny Bairstow. Well played to him. It's been a game-changing knock, if ever there was one. And probably a career-saving knock. Wow. This Quarantine Cricket Championship. Anything can happen. Except a result so far. This match could be headed for a draw. I don't want to be playing defensive cricket this series. It's not really the Australian way, nor is it entertaining to watch for you guys. But it looks as though a draw may be the most favourable outcome at this stage. I don't see Australia taking 7 wickets without England scoring a lot more runs as Bairstow continues to pile on the pain out there. 3 for 385, and that is quite the way for Stokes to bring up his ton. just heaves Mitchell Starc for 6. That sums up his innings. It sums up Australia's day. But is that out? They're up for it, and yes, finally, something to cheer for the Australians. I thought it was going down leg, but yeah, it struck outside the line, so a bad decision. Wow, you don't see that too often. Ben Stokes, 103, 17 fours, 1 6. That's his 7th test ton. And if we look at his batting form, it goes with his 63 in the first test and a few wickets with the ball. So, wow. Okay, what are we going to do? Just same treatment to Ollie Pope. Interesting to see how he goes about it with his team in a pretty strong position. You'd think he'd still be hungry for runs. If we just look at how he went in the first test, 14 and 7. So he's probably playing for his spot as well. You'd think Jos Buttler maybe banging on the door. I don't think Butler's a particularly impressive test player, but that's just my opinion. He is a match winner. But even though it's not that important at this stage in the way the match is progressing, I have to say I'm very satisfied to see the back of Ben Stokes. So much so that I'll be cracking open a drink to celebrate. Three from the over. 4 for 395. Starc to Pope. So I guess the question for England is how big can Bairstow go? He's never made a double hundred at test level. And the way the match is shaping up, he'll have plenty of time. He's 160 not out now as Hazlewood continues to Pope, who doesn't really play the line very well, but he'll get a single for it. Works out alright for him. Bairstow beats the field. Doesn't even bother running. He's that confident. 400 up for England. Loss of 4. Starc can have one more over. He's the wicket taker. Only 2 wickets in the entire day so far. As Pope gets away, 4 down the ground. Well played. Straight drive. And a no ball and 4. So, gee, Australia not performing too admirably in these circumstances. 10 from that over. Hazlewood to Pope. Good bouncer, well directed. Follows up with the Yorker. Can't beat the defensive Pope. and now he just gets one that he can hit through the covers for 4. Ollie Pope making a decent start for himself out there. It's 4 for 417. And Pat Cummins will get another crack. Can he turn his series around? He's bowling to a fairly new batsman who doesn't look phased whatsoever. By Cummins or by anyone. And the singles keep flowing. Still running hard after being out there for a very long time. Jonny Bairstow beats the bats. Wow. First chance we've seen it from him in a long time. And this 5 from that Pat Cummins over. Another expensive one. It's 4 for 422. And a double change as Nathan Lyon comes back into the attack. Really, the thinking here is just to preserve the fitness of the fast bowlers. Hazlewood's bowled a lot. Stark's bowled more than I would have liked, obviously. Gee, he's been so inaccurate, Nathan Lyon, today. After the first session. A lot of full tosses. He's dropped it too short as well. And that's what's happened. Oh, this could be out. Yes, it is. So Nathan Lyon into the attack. Not a great start, but then last ball of the over, Ollie Pope plays all around that one. It's trapped LBW for 25. So once again, he fails to put a score on the board to further his case as a permanent number 6. And scores, I believe, are level now. England 5 wickets in hand. So they're in a strong position. Oh, and Curran gets off the mark in style. Lyon to continue. Will his confidence soar after taking that wicket? Australia certainly hope so. It's been a very long day in the field, I tell you that. And Bairstow ticking along. I think he's surpassed his former high score at this stage, 168, I believe it was. Thereabouts. Bit of a doozer there from Nathan Lyon. Don't see that too often. Oh, and he's got him. So Sam Curran tries to attack that one, and it wasn't wide enough. Matthew Wade takes a great catch in close. Curran gone for 4, and Lyon's got 2 and 2 overs. Is there hope yet for these Australian bowlers to take these 10 wickets and give their batsmen a chance? It's going to be difficult. Moeen is probably the best number 8 you could ask for. It's got a cover drive like Gower. And he's just a match-winning type of bloke, Moeen Ali. Certainly one of the best English cricketers of his generation. And he's out there with The immovable Bairstow. 6 for 436. Red hot line to continue. Oh, and that's just... What is Tim Paine doing? I guess he's been out there a long time, but still. Really sloppy. What is this? Amateur hour? Tidy stuff from line. No one's been able to keep Bairstow quiet all day, so maiden over, it's pretty impressive. Oh, I got the scores wrong. Australia is still leading by 2 runs, now 1. So, yeah, there's still a chance, these Aussies. But this partnership will be crucial to break. Moeen, the last notable batter in the side, as Bairstow down the ground fires England into the lead. And really, it's been his performance that's allowed them to get there. Sure, you've had impressive knocks from Root and Stokes, but it's that man Bairstow who's been there nearly the entire innings. 6 for 443. Line to Moeen. And the goal for the Australians will be to bowl England out today. Just under an hour left of the day's play. That will be the objective. Oh, and he's put down. Can you believe that? After the day we've had in the field, a catch goes down and Moeen survives. That is unbelievable. Who is that in slips? If it's Labuschagne, he's never playing again. And as often happens, insult is added to injury. Five from the over. Should have been a wicket. Catch goes down. And, I mean, Pat Cummins is just giving us nothing. So, we'll see some more of Mitchell Starc. May as well go around, see what's doing. Gee, Moeen hammered that one. And well fielded in the end. Bairstow doesn't care what angle Stark's going around or over. He'll pick up boundaries. And he's really looking to push on here. Back-to-back fours as England soar past 450. Loss of 6. And Bairstow maybe senses that his batting partners may be running out soon. He wants that double century. So an expensive start from Starc there. 6 for 458. Who is that in slips? It is Labuschagne. I'm not having him there. Who's a good slips fielder? Burns? How do I swap? Move Burns out. Burns to slip and Labuschagne. Hold on. Sorry guys. Yep, there we go. Oh, I don't think I've done it for Bairstow, so it's probably still Labuschagne in the slips. I don't know why he's so bad in this game. He was never that bad in real life. And I don't know why Bairstow's this good. It's all the game's fault. It's just broken. It's not my fault for not taking wickets all day. It couldn't be. So England moving towards 500 now. They've had really a remarkable day with the bat. 4 wickets and already nearly 350 runs added, still 45 minutes to play. This is a style of Test cricket we thought we'd never see from an English side. And no balls like that. I mean, they just don't help. They get through for 2. Well run. Well played. And Bairstow. He looks like Tendulkar in his prime. Or maybe Ponting's a better comparison. Ponting never had this much success in England, I tell you that much. Unstoppable Johnny Bairstow. 199 now, so he'll be on strike to Nathan Lyon at the start of this over. And there it is. Brings it up with a 4, as you'd expect. A double century for Johnny Bairstow. This will go down in history as one of the finest Ashes innings of all time. He is not finished. He is not finished at all. And you have to say it's been a pretty ordinary performance from the Australian bowling attack. They haven't done well for themselves this series. Sure, the conditions aren't great, but you'd expect more than this. How big can Bairstow go? And how big will this English lead be when all is said and done? Personally, I'm fine if they keep batting. I don't see Australia winning from here, unfortunately. And really, I just prefer to enter into the third test with a 0-0 scoreline. The way this match has gone, just ridiculously good batting conditions for 3 days straight, and England still cashing in. This is just a massacre. 218 for Bairstow, and he's still going. Moeen proving handy at the other end. He shouldn't even be there. That's what really gets to me. Lyon should have had him. So it'll be interesting. Labuschagne has an innings to come in which he can prove himself. But if he fails again, I'm going to have to get rid of him. I'm sorry, guys, but the unfortunate thing about playing a cricket captain game that was designed really this time last year is that you don't have the skills up to date for the players. So I don't think Labuschagne's going to be good in this game. As sad as that is to say, as a huge fan of the guy in real life, I think Khawaja is probably a safer option. 500 up for England. Joshy Hazlewood back into the attack. Let's take some wickets, guys. Well fielded. Good to see we're still seeing some effort out there. If I was England, I'd just keep batting, to be honest. It's the second innings of the match, so if they could get up beyond 600, you know, no reason not to have a crack at the Aussies when they're well and truly out of winning the match, out of contention for winning, I should say. Bairstow, 4 more to his total. It's not even news now. Why do I bother commentating? 4 after 4 from Bairstow. I hope in later series of the Quarantine Cricket Championship, when I might be playing as England, that Bairstow will replicate this form. Unfortunately, I'm not too happy about seeing it here in this context. But I'm sure there's some England fans watching who are just delighted at the way this is going and laughing at my suffering. And that's definitely fine. I mean, that's what this channel's all about, really. Bringing cricket fans across the globe together. Doesn't matter who your team is, which country you're supporting. You shouldn't just cheer for the team that I'm playing as. You need to have some loyalty. I think at this point I'm willing to offer $500 to the Australian bowler who can dismiss Bairstow. Yes, gone finally. 225, what an innings. I mean, fair play to the guy. It's his test high score. But now we bowl them out. Come on, guys. Is that out? No. Yeah, I guess Hazlewood. I owe him $500. He's taken the bounty on the wicket of Johnny Bairstow, right as I offered it. Is that all it takes? If I offer them money, they take wickets. Gee, sorry state of affairs in the Australian cricket team, and when it comes down to this, I have to bribe them for wickets. And that man Hazlewood gets his 4th. Leading light in this attack, it must be said. Over the past couple of innings, actually. And what I don't need is for Moeen and Jofra Archer to kick on. Three overs left in the day. Hazlewood to Archer. Geez, trying to go on the attack. Not getting that one away. Good leave, you'd have to say. Packed slip cordon. I mean, if he edges to first slip, we know it's going down, so probably shouldn't faze him too much. Looks to have a pretty solid forward defence, Archer. Gee, and a handy pull shot as well. And a no ball, so come back for 2. 3 runs added to the total on that delivery, or doesn't even count as a delivery in the end. 2 overs left in the day. Yeah, it'll be Lyon to Moeen. England have added 397 runs today. Just think about that. I don't want to. I don't want to think about it. I want to move on. When's day 4 starting? When's the next test starting? When's West Indies versus India starting? I can't wait to play as India. I'm sick of Australia. 4 more. Oh, Moeen should have been out. I can't get that out of my head. Oh, Australia could be batting by now. Instead, England are 7 for 520, leading by 82. Alright, so last over of the day, here's Josh Hazlewood, bowling to Moeen. If there was going to be a silver lining today for the Australians, it would be if Josh Hazlewood was able to pick up a 5-wicket haul. At least he'd have something to be proud of. Oh, and Archer playing aggressively on the last ball of the day. We've seen that a lot from England. Maybe it's a psychological tactic. As play comes to a close on day 3, a really long day. I mean, I applaud any of you who got through all of this. It's really hard for me as Australia. Thanks to Bairstow 225, Stokes 103. Earlier in the day, seems like a lifetime ago, Joe Root made 82. And really it's only Hazlewood and briefly Nathan Lyon who have offered some resistance. Oh boy. I'll see you on day 4.